We were in that same boat.
Yeah.
And we learned through it. And obviously, as we gain experience in the industry and all these things, like we've only been able to reinforce that reason of why we do what we do. The following is for informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Please consult a professional before making any financial decisions. For your reference, our full disclaimer will be displayed at the end of the episode. Welcome back to the Building Wealth from Scratch podcast. I am your host, Jerry, alongside my beautiful wife, Bianca. And today's episode is probably one of our favorites because this is where the rubber meets the road. This is exactly why we do what we do, because this is client transformations, the real life scenarios, the real changes, the before and after stories of our clients.
Yeah, and we hear it all the time, like people feel stuck with their money, they don't know how to build wealth. And I think one of the favorite things is that we love working with clients that they're like, I'm working really hard, I'm making good money, but I still feel stuck. I have debt, I have a couple savings here and there. I just don't feel like I know what I'm doing. I want to start investing, or I have been investing, but what can I do to get better? And I feel like those are usually the ones that have the biggest transformations when it comes to our clients. Yeah.
So in the next few minutes, we're actually going to cover a few client scenarios, and we're going to really share how they went from being stressed and stuck to feeling confident and in control of their finances. And lastly, we're going to end it with a quick breakdown of our services and how we can actually transform a person's life in 90 days.
And the exciting part is that we do have limited spots for October, and October is really the best month to work with us because whatever you do right now, our clients see results within 90 days. And so ultimately, if you want to start off 2026 the right way and being like, I feel good about my money, I'm hitting my money goals, October 2025 is the best time to start. So if you're interested in making some big money goal moves, I definitely encourage you to book an introductory call, and we'll link the link in the show notes. As a first gen, I always feel like I have to figure out everything on my own. And for the longest time, I was the same way too. I was like, I can figure out how to budget. I can figure out how to pay off debt. I can figure out investing. We took many investing courses, you and I, and we did make progress. But the biggest transformation was really when we hired our first financial planner, because it was really about taking that expertise and making it personal to our situation and really getting us results fast.
Not only that, but I think it's what most people don't consider or take for granted when hiring a financial planner is that the key is that you're supposed to get time back. You're supposed to value things a certain way, meaning that, yeah, the advisor is going to take care of all that stuff, but in return, you're supposed to be spending more time with your kids. You're supposed to be doing the activities that you love. You're supposed to cherish the moments more instead of having to worry about what the market is doing and things like that. And I think it boils down to understanding your values, understanding what really matters to you and nobody else.
Not only, I think it was what you said, everything, those feelings was something that happened with me, but I was less stressed. I had less doubt. I was more confident that everything that was being recommended was in the best interest and that I was actually doing the best thing. Because whenever I would Google something, it was like, but am I really doing the best thing? Am I really taking advantage of X, Y, and Z? Am I being smart with my money? And so I think really it bridged that gap of like feeling alone and having to figure it out to finally having someone on my side and knowing that they have the best interests.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like a team. You need to build a team. I think society has pushed us to, we have to do everything on our own, and where most people don't even talk to their neighbors, which is mind-boggling. Even though you live with them, like literally, side by side, but most people don't even take the time to talk to their community. And so I think that's what STEM here in finance as well. And that's not the case. We're social beings. We love talking to people. So it only makes sense to build a team around you that has the same values, that cares about you, and that wants to see you succeed. And that's the best team you can ever have.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's why we have so much success with our clients, because we just care so much. Like we want to see them succeed so badly. Like it's like, yes, like we are on your team. We want to make sure that you're set up for success, because that's what someone did for us, and it's only fair to pay it forward. And so with that, share with us some of your most exciting and best client success stories.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, you know, we love our clients. You know, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So, you know, we owe everything to them. And that's why we try to pay as much as we can forward and help them through every challenge as possible. And yeah, one of our favorites is our family of 5 that live off of one income. And, you know, before hiring us, you know, they were stressed out, credit card debt, personal loans, you know, living paycheck to paycheck, and just feeling like they couldn't pay for their, you know, their kids' shoes when they needed new shoes, you know, or they had to wait till next paycheck. And so they were just tired of that. And then after they signed us as, they hired us, and we took them on and we helped them. We developed a plan that's tailored around them and what they value. They're still on the same income. This is what I love, is that they're still on that same single income. And now they're actually saving money, they're investing, and they're also saving aside for their kids, which is beautiful. And they're paying all their bills. They're doing everything they need to do. They're paying down their debt. They're actually on track to pay it off sooner, and all off of the same income. And that's the beauty of just getting intentional and getting clarity on what you actually value. And that's the power that I think we are able to bring, is at least in that situation.
Right. And now they're like off having like fun and not worrying about, hey, am I doing the right thing with my money? And I think that's like beautiful. Like now they're spending more time with their babies. And so I think that's really what we like when we envision building this company. Like it's like, yeah, it's to transform more families like us that they're just tired of living paycheck to paycheck, and they make good money, but they just don't know how to manage it because nobody taught them how to do that. Right. And that's really where we had to learn too. And now,
and I think that's what makes us unique, is because we were in that situation. We were in that same boat.
Yeah.
And we learned through it. And obviously, as we gain experience in the industry and all these things, like we've only been able to reinforce that reason of why we do what we do.
Exactly. And so, yes, they are one of my favorite success stories that I love, you know, reminding myself every day of like why we do what we do.
Exactly. And that's just getting intentional and understanding your values as a person, as a family. And now we're going to shift into getting clarity with your investment strategies. So this client, fairly young, making good money, but not really where they were going to be earning the most. They're in an industry that they're going to make a ton of money. They're going to be great. However, they're going to be well off. However, their investment strategies were not aligned to that. You know, they thought that they had to be saving, like our last episode, we were just talking about tax planning and saving for taxes. You know, there's also the other side where, does it make sense to pay taxes now instead of 20, 30 years from now? And in this situation, it made perfect sense to shift their investment strategies because they're only going to earn more money. So now it's the best time to take advantage of their low tax bracket because they're only going to get bumped up as they get older.
Right. And so this client felt like she was doing the right thing by, you know, taking the tax deduction and being like, I'm going to pay less in taxes. Mm-hmm. In the short term, it was smart. Like, right? Something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
But you really went in there and being like, let's switch this strategy and let's be smarter on the long term.
Yeah. And obviously this one's not as touchy feeling as the first one. However, it will get touchy feeling when she does reach retirement age or when she does certain things, because now she's going to have that money tax free, which is even better. That's right. The best way that you can avoid the IRS is by paying them as little as you possibly can.
Or maybe I don't know but it's at the end of the day, she's keeping more of her money.
Yeah, she's keeping more. She's investing it and it's growing tax free.
Which is what you want. And I think that's the beauty part, is that everybody's strategy looks different because they all have very independent goals from each other. Yeah. And not one is the same. Yeah.
And I guess just to give you a little bit more clarity, what I'm talking about is I'm not saying that I recommended some weird investment, like life insurance. No, I didn't. It's literally just changing from pre-tax to Roth. That's it. Just depends on your age, your income, and your income potential. And you do the numbers, you do the math, and you figure out, does it make sense now or does it make sense later?
Right.
And for her, it makes sense now because she's so young that the money has more time to accumulate tax-free than any amount of savings we're going to have if we do Roth conversions when she retires.
So the next client, I think, is also one of my favorites just because...
they're all our favorites.
They're all our favorites.
We just don't have the time of day to mention every single person.
Right. But I think this person is a small business owner, and one of their big goals is to buy a house. And they make really good money within their small business and has been doing it for quite some time. But, obviously the strategy that they were using is as many tax deductions as possible. And I think that's very normal for small business owners to think like that, right? I don't want to pay a lot of taxes, so let me do as many deductions as possible. But what that strategy was actually working against them with their overall goal of owning a house, buying a home one day. So by really sitting down with us, we got very intentional with what the next goals look like and what the income and tax strategy should be going forward. So while this client is not a homeowner yet, we are so intentional right now that it's a no doubt that this client is going to become a homeowner within the next 1 to 2 years. So I think that's the power of our clients feeling lost and defeated and being like, I work so hard, I make good money, why am I still so stuck? And then finally getting to them oh, I understand how this works. I understand how how to really get the system to work for me and make my money work for me. And so I think that's the beautiful part of what we do, is we really get people unstuck and really bring them clarity. So Jerry, let's go over our services and how we're able to bring amazing transformations within 90 days.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first step is just scheduling that intro call. It's free. It's 30 minutes. Just get a sense of what you're looking for and see if it's a good fit to even move forward. And then from there, we do another free discovery call. And that's the financial audit. That's where we're going to look at every financial document you have that you own, everything. We're going to assess everything. That's really where I'm going to be able to get an understanding of where you are today and if I can provide any at all value to get you to where you want to be in the future. And that's a discovery call. Then from there, you think about it, you marinate over it, and then you're like, you know what, Jerry, I'm ready to hire you guys. I'm tired and fed up of trying to do it myself, or I'm just tired of winging it and I want professional help. Then you hire us, we sign our compliance documents, and you're officially a client. And then from there, that's when we get to work. That's when we start building the plans and we start implementing it. That's why our goal is that we're going to be meeting at least 3 to 4 times in the first month to 2 months. That's how fast we're trying to be, because we're trying to be as intentional and implement the plan as fast as we can to show you the results within 90 days.
Right. And that's why I think the first 30 days, the first 90 days are just very vital for anybody who really decides, because it's it really takes the time to show who's committed who's really ready for that change, who wants to take the steps, right? And
yeah, absolutely.
And you're there to hold them accountable.
It's a two-way street. You know, I'm there to support you and guide you, but if you're not ready to take the advice and to actually implement it, then at that point it doesn't make sense for us to work together, because we're looking to help people that actually want the help. And because of that, obviously we can start showing some results pretty fast.
Right. Because now it's like you're no longer in that indecision of like, should I do it, should I not? Now it's like, no, this is
committed.
Let's get to work.
Yeah.
So if you've been on the fence of like, I don't know if you guys are going to be the right fit, definitely, if you resonated with one of our clients' stories, then definitely you are ready for that next step. And what I would definitely encourage you to do is to book that introductory call. We'll link the link.
We'll share the link in the bio or something.
We'll share the link in the bio.
Yeah, so again, book that free intro today so that we can start getting to work and you can have a phenomenal start to your 2026.
Yes. And with that, we'll end today's podcast episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and make sure to like and subscribe to our show. We'll see you next month.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Confianza Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor in the state of California. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where Confianza Wealth Management and its representatives are properly registered or exempt from registration. This video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute individualized advice or a guarantee that you will achieve a desired result. You should consult with an appropriate tax and/or financial advisor for advice specific to your situation. All expressions of opinion reflect the judgment of the host/interviewee on the date of the program and are subject to change. Presented is believed to be factual and up to date, but we do not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. Discussions should not be construed as an offer to buy or sell or a solicitation of an offer to buy or sell the investments mentioned. A professional advisor should be consulted before implementing any of the strategies discussed. Investments involve varying degrees of risk, and there can be no assurance that any specific investment or strategy will be suitable or profitable for a client's portfolio. All investment strategies can result in profit or loss.